good times was referring to some likable situation when he would shout, "Dine, oh my!" But what JJ was really doing was celebrating the power of God. I got to tell you this morning, whatever you're facing, God is bigger. Amen? In reality, God is infinitely better than your best thought on your best day. In fact, your best thought on your best day is at least 15.3 billion light years short of how great and how good God really is. Dine, oh my! Because Abraham knew just how dynamic God was, he could obey. He could obey. And Hebrews 11:8 says it. By faith, when called to go to a place he would later receive as his inheritance, he obeyed and he went, even though he did not know where he was going. I want the same to be said of me. Oh, sure, I can obey when every T is crossed. And I can obey when every I is dotted. But if we as a church and as families and as friends and in our marriages and in our relationships want to go to the next level, we've got to obey this dynamic God even when there's a little fog outside and there's a chance of rain, knowing that God still knows what He's doing, and our total obedience will take us to a place where we've never gone before. That's the life I want to live. How about you? Amen. Total obedience, where we go celebrating time. Oh my! Amen. I know not today what tomorrow may bring, of shadow or sunshine or rain. But I know the Lord ruleth o'er everything, and all of my worry is vain. Living by faith in Jesus above, trusting confiding in His great love. Safe from harm in His sheltering arms, I'm living by faith and feel no harm. So Jesus says, go in peace. And I know that some of us have no peace because you're bleeding and there's sin in your life. And I'm not judging, but most of the time you can tell. There's anger, there's a lack of joy, bitterness. There's no peace, but there's a lot of drama. Man, the life is being bled out of you because of your inherited sinful nature. Folks, I'm going to tell you, life's too short to leave here today under the thumb of the enemy. Would you ask God to forgive you and enjoy life? And I know that there's no peace when we're always trying to have to prove that we're better than other people. There's no peace because we're always having to think and try and scheme and maneuver to position ourselves as more loved than some other person. How can I be better? How can I be better looking? How can I be more wise? How can I have more money? How can I drive a better car? None of that stuff makes you any better than anybody else, but your relationship with Jesus, now that'll give you peace, where you realize that we're all just a bunch of sinners saved by grace. Man, that's the life I want to live. How about you? I'm tired of trying to prove that I'm any better than anybody else. I'm tired of comparing my preaching and my singing and my house and my kids and my wife and my hairdo and the whole 9 yards. I just want to be me. I've got to be me. Who else can I be? I want to be loved by Jesus. Amen. There's no peace when I'm always having to work so hard to try to think I'm better than anybody else. I don't want to live that way. And there is absolutely no peace when I'm too chicken to step out on faith and really believe what I say I believe. When we sit in our living room, when we go to bed at night, and we know God is commanding us or asking us or begging us to do something that's for our own good, and we refuse to do it, and so there's no peace there. I mean, either we believe what we say we believe or we don't. How many times must God come through like only He can before we believe that He is done? Oh my! I believe that song more than ever, Randy. Trust and obey, because there's no other way to be happy in Jesus. Don't trust, don't obey. There's no other way to be miserable in Jesus than to not trust and not obey. I think this is a pivotal message for us this morning as we move on. What are we going to do with this revival that God is lavishing on us? Are we going to blow it, make it bigger, make it flame higher? Most of us carry a bucket of water and a bucket of gasoline with us all the time. I'm tired of throwing water on God-given fires. I want to throw some gas on God-given fires and see what God can really do around here. Where 100 years from now, people will look back and say, I want to know what they did. I want to copy their obedience and their love for one another and their lack of haughtiness and their approachability and the fact that they were willing to touch lepers and touch bleeding women. Either we're remarkable or we're invisible, and I want to be remarkable. I want to be a purple cow. Where people drive by us and they say, yo, no, that's a purple cow. You know, you've seen one brown cow, you've seen 1,000 brown cows, but a purple cow, well, that stands out. Where people just driving down the road will know that there's something going on around here. Where we give high fives to one another no matter what social standing we're in. And we say love you back to someone no matter, even if they're not very lovable, we still tell them that we love them. And we say, oh, you're an encouragement to me because you told me that I was an encouragement to you. We don't leave anybody hanging. We don't say, thought you had a friend, didn't you? We just walk on by. Don't leave here this morning with sin in your life. Spiritual leaders, board members, Sunday school teachers, it really does. You are pastoring your own flock of people within the flock of this church. Teaching Sunday school, being on the board, you are a minister. Every member involved in ministry. It all flows down from the top. And I know one thing, Ken, I've done things in the flesh before, and nothing happens, but when we do things in the Spirit, good good things happen. I want that guy in Ohio. How about you got the knowledge? In every Sunday school class, every prayer meeting, every organizational meeting, every finance meeting, every time we're at IHOP, I say, God, bring it on, Nelda. How about you? Bring it on, God. Bring it on. I want to get under the spout where the glory comes out. Is there sin in your life right now? Get up from where you're at and say, God, forgive me. I'm tired of the drama. I want to leave this place with a chance of the abundant life. If you're a spiritual leader, I want you to stand to my left and stand to my right and say, yeah, these are the principles that this church is going to be built on. A common love for one another, an equality of value and gifts for one another, a celebration of God's dunamis, where we just obey. Would you stand with me? My guess is God has spoken to people all across the chart this morning. All I do is deliver the message. You guys hear it probably in 1,000 different ways. I'm going to pray. If anyone wants to come pray with me, if you specifically want to ask God to forgive you of your sin, grab me or a board member or a friend, and let's drive down a stake, as the old timers used to say, and get something done. Who wants to come pray this morning?